Okay, I think I'm live. Hello, Beachbody Champions. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Let me hide my screen over here. All right. It's Friday. We get to take a breath. We get to do a little bit of training. My name is Morgan, and I am super excited to talk to you guys today. I will be sharing, I've been a coach for almost 3 years. This business opportunity totally changed my life. So I love talking to mentoring my coaches, sharing about duplication. It's one of my favorite things. So I'm excited to talk to you guys. I think I've said that 3 times now, about duplicating things for your downline, okay? Very much want you guys to know too, that your own form of success is exactly what you can teach and duplicate to your own teams and to your own downlines. And where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be at this moment. Okay, so if you're watching this and you're an Emerald coach, know that you are so capable of helping someone else get to Emerald. If you're watching this and you're a Diamond coach, you are so capable of helping someone else get to Diamond. If you're watching this and you're just an active coach, know that you can help someone else become an active coach and so much more. Okay, so hopefully you guys will have a couple takeaways from watching this. If you do, I would love to hear them in the chat in the comments. Okay, so we've all heard the model of I do, we do, you do, right? Like that little 3-step model of, I do it and then we do it together and then you do it on your own. I'm really going to dive deep into that model and make those our 3 steps so it's super easy to remember, but put it into closer perspective as far as coaching goes, and how it relates to our business, okay? So first, I know it sucks, but we have to point the finger back at ourselves. We have to do a little self-reflection and think, what is it we are doing? What is it I am doing, right? We all know our vital behaviors. We have to be doing them. We have to start there. But it's important for duplication purposes and building and having your teams see the same success and grow your organization, because your coaches, when you're doing something, that's basically giving them permission to do it. When I was a baby coach, I watched my coach like a hawk because I wanted to see what she was doing, so that I knew that what I should be talking about, how I should be sharing. I knew that if she was talking about working on her lunch break to grow her business, I knew that I needed to talk about coaching that way too. And I would take the screenshots and I would write down the notes and I would duplicate that. Okay, so doing that yourself is going to give permission to your coaches to do the same thing, right? So they're only going to duplicate what they see us doing, right? So ask yourself the vitals, but also think about these next few questions, okay? Are you committed to a program calendar? From start to finish, are you starting 30-day breakaway? Do you have that launch plan? Have you talked about it? Created that FOMO, not just on your social media, but within your team. It's going to be more within your team than it would on anything else probably. Are you drinking Shakeology? Are you drinking your Shako to the bottom of the bag every single month? Are you listening to national wake-up calls and team calls? Do you plan to get up early on Monday when it's launch day? Like, are you so excited? Have you created that FOMO? Are you doing those giveaways and really creating that within your team? Know that all of those things, again, you have to be doing for your coaches to see that. Do you engage with your team? Are you welcoming those new coaches and new clients that your teammates share? Are you participating in your challenge group or your team page? Do you show up on social media every day like it's your job? It is our job, you guys. Do you have urgency to help those 3 people every single month? And not just urgent, more important than urgency or the number, but are you excited to help those people, right? Do you have that spark in your head or in your heart every single day, as far as more than just the leaderboard or more than just a number? Do you actually treat this business like the business that it could be, or like the business that you want it to be? Do you invite consistently? Inviting consistently every single time. And do you have a why? Do you have a why that makes you want to puke, that makes you want to cry, whatever makes you want to scream, whatever type of person you are, right? If you answered yes to all of those questions, then the duplication process should be seamless. It should be seamless. If you can say yes to this, to, yes, I have a why, you can teach somebody else to have that why. You can dream, you can inspire, you can motivate somebody else to get that. Maybe you said yes to 1 through 5. Great. Work on 6 through 12 while you help your coaches say yes to numbers 1 through 5 that you already have down, right? You're just helping your coaches say yes to those things. And duplicating, by you duplicating, they're going to feel much more confident about doing it themselves, okay? So after I can say yes to all of those things myself, I can then start really walking beside my coaches. I never like to say holding their hands or like letting them fly the nest. I like to walk beside them, especially at the beginning, as they get more confident, more comfortable, and successful with each step, okay? So second part, this is the biggest part, is we do. Okay, so how do I duplicate all of the things that we do together that are important as a coach? Helping your first, inviting, helping your people, following up, getting those people started, running sneak peeks. How does that duplication work? So for me, it starts right away in my new coach mentorships. Their first few goals as a new coach, obviously everyone has different goals, but it's going to be, helping their first person, helping them hit Success Club, Success Starter, hitting Emerald, helping them get their first paycheck. Those are all typical, ones that are more popular. So I'm going to help them do that to duplicate exactly what I would do. And by doing that, let's just use the how do I help them with their first person example. So this, I really want to put myself in their shoes. So I want to take it step by step by step. And I want to say, okay, who is the first person that you can help? Who is someone that you really want to help, that you want to change their life, that they're going to benefit from this, they're going to, love this. And I want to know. I want to literally be in their shoes. I want them to hear the background of that person. I want to know how they talk to them. Have they talked to them recently? Do you typically call them? Do you typically see them in person? Do you typically, send them a text message or talk through Facebook? I want to know all of those things. And then I'm going to lay out, here, okay, great. Here's exactly what I would say. I'm not just going to give them a script, because scripts are sometimes, scripts are something that you wouldn't typically send to every single person. And if I just give them a script, then they're probably going to send that to every single person, even if it's like their sister. So I want to make sure, that I'm really helping them from start to finish, help that first person, even if it's a small win. So I'm going to start off, with helping them find that person's goal. They're going to screenshot those messages, share them in our mentorship chat. I'm going to help them say exactly what I would say so that they're not word vomiting, how to read those people, and I'm going to tell them why. I'm not just going to script out, okay, say this, say this, say this. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to say this. This is what I recommend saying, and here's why. I recommend, ending in this question because of this. And when you do that, even if it's a little time consuming for their just one person, and treating them like it's your client, not only is that going to give your coach so much confidence in you and confidence in themselves, but they're going to be able to duplicate that for every single person that they talk to next, right? And they're going to know if they have trouble, then they can come to you. So that's how, those first few goals, that duplication process really works, okay? Helping them get that first initial win. So they've helped their first person, right? How do I then help that person get started? Duplicating that. So my onboarding process is shared right in my team page. My new coach mentorship is in Facebook units. So I had like a unit, or it's one big unit. So it's like day 1, day 2, day 3. One of those days is what to do when someone gets started. So for me, I share exactly my onboarding process, just so I don't have to individually tell people every single time, like, okay, this is what I said, this is what I say, I have it right there in the unit. I can just direct them to like unit 2 or whatever. But in that unit, it says, this is what my first enrollment, or this is what my welcome email says. This is a welcome guide. Here's a link to make your own welcome guide, personalize it if you don't want to send the one I use, making it easier for them so that they don't have to reinvent the wheel. And that works well. Having them answering questions for them as far as like, okay, do I add them into the team page, or do I, wait till they send me their measurements? Really, all of that is right there in that unit so they can just read and go. Next, duplication for how I get them to run their own boot camps. So for the first 3 or so months, at least probably till month 3 or 4. Most of the time my new coaches are in my boot camp and we're running it together. So I'm running it with them. They're helping me post. They're doing some check-ins. They're reading those check-ins. They're supporting one another. They are seeing when I go live, what I go live about, what I talk about, getting them into that leadership role, but also helping them see that they are capable of doing it, right? Because it's not hard. We're just literally helping people, get results. We're encouraging those people, some fun things that you would do, and asking them to add their own flair too, right? So how they're running those boot camps now, and they're helping still feel super confident about getting people onboarded and inviting, because we went through that duplication process. So now they're kind of doing that you do part of their own, and then they're starting to see like they need business builders, right? We're running sneak peeks. Typically, that's where I create or get business builders from. So it's just my model, and I duplicate that by helping or by asking my new coaches to run a sneak peek with me. Okay, so they're coming in, they're sharing their stories. I typically just do like a 3-day Facebook sneak peek. One of those days is my coaches sharing a couple stories. So I'll have like 3 coaches come in. 1, 2, or 3 of them will be from new coaches. And you guys, that's so powerful too for your prospects to see a perspective from a new coach versus me who's been doing it for 3 years. I've said the same thing a lot of times. So it seems easier, right? I love it having a new coach come in and see. And then that coach is able to see how it's ran. They're able to encourage, new prospects, or they're able to encourage the other coaches or myself. And I also tell them to invite and promote that group themselves, like it's a group we're running together, so that they can start getting people in to talk more about the business opportunity. So then all of that is all working together. They're starting to do the you do process there. What about their own team pages? I encourage all of my coaches to have their own little safe place for their clients, even if it's just a chat group. But it's always so powerful for them to have it on their own rather than just hear it from me, right? Their clients didn't sign up with me, they signed up with them. So, around the 3-month or so mark, they probably have their team page. They're getting a couple people in there, and I encourage them to, add their own flair, but also just take what it is I'm posting in my team page. And it's that easy. That's what I did for months and months. So I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. And so that I could focus on income producing activities was just take, what it was my coach was doing, because she was doing it really well, right? So taking that and putting that in there for them and encouraging them to add their own thing. So if it's a coach who, I'm not a mom. And so if it's a coach who is a mom, maybe she's going live, she's probably attracting more moms. So maybe she's going live, talking about how she fits it in with motherhood, or how she gets workouts in with kids. That is something like the adding your own flair type of thing. So duplication as far as helping their own coaches, right? So they're doing all these things. They ran that sneak peek and they have somebody who's ready to start coaching themselves. My mentorships, yep, they're going to walk beside me the exact same way they would for all those other steps I mentioned, where I'm going to run my monthly mentorship with that coach and their new coach. So for me, it's like a mentorship chat, and I am not only running the chat with everyone, so with my coach and her coach and my new coaches, but I'm also talking, and very specifically talking even more probably with my coach on a one-on-one, saying, okay, this is how I typically run it. This is what I typically cover the first week. And then we can take turns, sharing the content each day. I want you to answer questions from my people and me to answer questions from your people. Like, I want this to be like a we thing, and that most importantly, like as things come up, I am on a one-on-one level talking to that coach on why I'm doing certain things. So if I see that maybe somebody isn't participating, we'll go to my coach. I'll be like, listen, so-and-so isn't participating. I would typically like kick them out, or say this, or do a clean out. If I see that the group needs to focus more on something else, then I will talk to that coach on what I would do and why I would do it. If I say that they need more help with social media, we need to focus more on that. And then I would say, hey girl, like, do you see that too? Like, what do you have anything that helped you work at the beginning, and having her share that. So again, putting them in that leadership role, helping them see that they can mentor their own coaches themselves. So that is, we do like broken down into every little aspect that's important as a coach, and hopefully you guys can take some things away from that. The last step is you do, okay? And this is a step that you really get to be proud of. You know, you kind of see them slowly start to fly away from the nest a little bit, and you get to start being their big supporter, and they feel confident that they know what it is they're doing because they did it with you for, you know, so long or whatever. So encourage them, recognize them, still check in on them, and enjoy that side of those coaches. So that was I have 2 more things, but if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments while I finish the last 2 points. Oh, good. I'm perfect for time. Okay. So the last 2 things I wanted to say was, one, always encourage them to do it their way. I know a lot of times, you know, I used to watch trainings or YouTubes and hear different, you know, National Wake Up Call, and I like wanted to implement every single thing perfectly. Know, if you're watching this, that your way is totally fine, and it's going to vibe with your people. So what speaks to you? You know, I always try to encourage my coaches to share, you know, to use what it is I do, but do it your way. Like, incorporate your story, what speaks to your people. If you think this is absolutely ridiculous, this whole welcome guide, okay, great. You create something so much easier and so much simpler that's going to speak to your people. 2, these things obviously sometimes can be a lot, and you feel like you want to improve on everything. So take one duplication improvement at a time, or one little system at a time. Like, could you possibly create a more seamless duplication system around like mentorships, around your, you know, helping those new coaches help their new coaches? Or do you feel like your coaches need more duplication around recruiting and onboarding and those conversations? So just take one area and know that every single small step is going to help you get to a more seamless duplication system, a more fluid system, and help you spend more time on your own vitals, right? And help you be more engaged with your team, help your team be more engaged, and have them always see that you're able to be there to help them and support them. So thank you guys for having me. I hope this was helpful. Oh, hey girls. All right, you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will chat with you maybe later. I don't know. Bye guys.